So, hello and welcome. My name's Steve Nobel, and today I'm speaking with Abigail Wainwright on channeling light language. Abigail is an alchemist, activator, transmuter, energy reader, and healer. She assists people in reconnecting with their sovereignty, and she is a light language channel and a 144,000 grid worker. She lives in Australia with her 4-year-old daughter. And hi, Abigail.
Hello, it's lovely to connect today.
Let me ask you, Abigail, because I've seen a lot of your posts on Facebook and I've enjoyed a lot of the transmissions. A lot of them are visual, but can I ask you first about your journey? How did you come to this place of channeling light language?
Okay, so I originally was doing readings, but I've had a bit of a journey to get to the place of channeling light language, meaning I've had quite a lot of experiences, like challenges or strong experiences in my life. Just as a child, I was already having things come through as a child. So meaning I could have experiences where I'd see colour, or I'd see guides or beings or spirits. I believe it was a process of accelerated awakening. I went through a lot of trauma. So my parents ended up in foster care because they were unable to take care of me. There was a lot of neglect, a lot of various things that were traumatic going on in my family, and also there was a lot of things that I witnessed and experienced. So some of those things that I went through were sexual assault, nearly losing my life in that, and also witnessing my father almost get killed. And that activated me because I had a vision of an extraterrestrial being that was connected with 7 days before that incident took place. So I had a lot of stuff that I had to go through, and all of those things sort of were intertwined or interconnected with these abilities that were coming through at the same time as that was occurring. And I always was drawn into working with energy or working with myself in a spiritual way, just because I've had that awareness at such a young age, and naturally I was doing it. So naturally I felt energy coming in through my hands, and I'm talking about when I was quite young, early 20s type thing. I just naturally feel this heat and this energy in my hand and just move them or use that energy in them. So along the journey I go back and forth a lot in different realities. So I've experienced a lot of the 3D kind of thing. So I've had sort of conventional jobs, gone into that system, and always had the intuition and the psychic abilities and those kind of things there, but I was never using them as like I hadn't stepped into my full mission at that point in my life. But I would be giving readings naturally and giving these healings and things like that with people that I knew. So that kind of thing. And then how the light language was activated, I had my daughter, and before I had her, I had many visions of her, and it was almost like there was this telepathic thing going on that was through her. And then after her, my marriage suddenly collapsed, and I was getting activated as that collapsed. So I'd be seeing photographic visions and beings and things like that literally come up, like all kinds of extraterrestrial beings, all kinds of spirits, all kinds of things were just coming through in that process. And when I say collapse, I ended up homeless on a couch, because when that fell apart, my whole reality collapsed, and I had this kind of a purging thing happen to me. So I'd be crying and crying and crying, and I'd be getting a lot of throat chakra purging. So all this stuff came out like a flu-like thing, like all this gunk, like energetic gunk is how I describe it. And then I got myself out of that situation of being in that place with on a couch with my daughter, and got myself in an apartment. And then when I got here, I was guided to do all these different kinds of meditations, and so I was doing them, and that one of them was the violet flame. So I did violet flame meditation. One of them, I found yours actually through this process, and that caused another purging. And then through that process, because I was looking up certain things to clear myself, like ascension related tools, and I just was meditating, and just through YouTube I'd come across various meditation tools, and I didn't know what I was listening to, but one of them I was just lying down and it automatically flipped onto something, and it was someone's voice. It was a woman's voice, and it was what I didn't know at the time, that it was light language, and something clicked into me when I listened to it, even though I didn't really know what I was doing, and something told me this is significant and I need to listen to this, and I listened to it a couple times, and a few days after I'd listened to that, whilst all of this was happening, I'm already giving readings to people, so I'm already offering those kinds of tools because I can channel in those ways. But what happened in this particular light language case was I'd listened to it once or twice, had done a violet flame, and I'd had a complete collapse of my life and everything that I'd built, like a paradigm like collapse. And then all of a sudden that I woke up at like 3 in the morning or 4 in the morning, and I could hear light language in my, like, it's like in my mind, or it's just like I could just hear it rattling through my head. And then I was getting visions of beings again, so there was like light beings, extraterrestrial type beings that were like just in front of me. And then I just started saying, like, it just came through in my voice. I'd just start going, and I could not stop it. And as I was doing this, I could feel something down my spine clicking, like all down my spine, all down there, like it was clicking stuff out. And then after this was activated, the next day I remember my whole throat was numb, like there was a lot of numb energy, and it hurt, like there was like a sore throat. And then slowly it was like an integration, like I started using my voice and bringing it in through the other channeling work that I was doing. So when things came through, I just naturally allowed myself that space to open more and more to it, and to trust what it was, and to get out of my head and just to allow it to flow. But that's how it started. That's the process that I went through.
Wow. So I know, Abigail, before we started speaking, you said it comes through in different forms, voice, visual. Obviously the visual is going to be difficult for the audio, but it's very beautiful the way the hands move and the way you do it. There's the audio. I think you said it comes through art, painting. Can you say something about all the different ways this light language comes through?
So it's really an energetic expression of the soul, and something that goes into you, that bypasses the mind, bypasses the ego, and it's creativity. So it comes through in the way that's right for how it's meant to be expressed. And so there's many people that are already doing light language and may not even be aware of it, because they're painting, or they're expressing something and it's coming through them. That's the only way that I can describe it. It's almost like something that doesn't have, it's not meant to have like the limitation of human mind to box it. But when you say, like, describe each different type, so sometimes I can be verbalizing something and it's coming through my hands at the same time, or I could be saying something and I'm painting. It's almost like it's an extension of the message, and it's just coming through now in that way.
And do you know when it's coming through? Can you translate it, or do you have a sense of what it's for, or is it kind of just vague, or you don't know?
Well, not all of it, because it's not all meant to be comprehended. And what I mean by that is, if something starts coming through in light language, it's going to be received uniquely for you, for what is needed for your soul, and it's meant to like, your soul knows the message. And at other times there are messages that I need to bring through. So sometimes I'll feel that it's related to clearing something in a past life, and I actually will bring through the fact that this is being known, and I might get a flash of something that is related to the light language and why it's coming through. And I do get I get a transmission of why. So, for instance, I've done ones where I know it's about abundance and it's meant to be healing that block, but then there's stuff coming through in the message, like this.
Yeah.
That's not meant to be, I'm not meant to say what every little thing is coming through.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just the energy getting received, and then I'll be saying, you know, in my limited way of expressing it, I'll say this is for the abundance, this is for prosperity, and then there's something deeper going in that you're just going to, like, receive in your energetic being.
So I should just explain to people listening that you're doing these beautiful hand movements as you're speaking as well. It's very almost like ballet or something. They're very symmetrical, and
it's interesting because I was so drawn to dance as a child, and it's the thing that kept me going. Movement and dance, and I felt like I had to do something with movement all through my childhood. And I can see flashes of my own past life where I was a ballet dancer, and I had these different lifetimes doing dance and doing movements and things like that. And it's almost like it just comes through as like a energetic, like I can sort of feel the energy as I do that, and it just starts extending out. And then the hands move into certain sort of as like a symbol. So there might be something that would come through that's like delivering something. Like that just felt like it was for the third eye, for perception.
Yeah,
coming through.
Again, beautiful hand movements around the third eye and throat, and they feel very spirally and swirling and very symmetrical, as I say. Can I ask you, Abigail, what was it like switching from? I mean, being a healer, you are still in the spiritual zone, but going from a healer to a light language facilitator or channel, was that shift dramatic, easy?
It was a flow, and the reason why I say that is because the readings that I was giving, it felt like there was some kind of clearing out something in the matrix as well with that, which light language could assist. So initially people were coming to me and wanting to know in a very 3D, very limited, linear, like they had no power to create their own reality, what was the energies and what's the outcome. And so I felt like it was what was good about me stepping in with the light language and with all of this information was I was able to truly show whoever it was that was coming to me a way to break out of that and to shift into a higher timeline. We're not just stuck here in whatever that is. We can use these tools, and I have something that I can now offer them to help them clear that energetic baggage, and we're not limited by this. Like, it's not like life's going like this, you can shift and you're not stuck. So it actually helped a lot when I had the more tools to offer.
Beautiful. Now I know you're going to offer a transmission of light language that people can hear. It's a shame they can't see you, but I'll pass it over to you, Abigail.
Okay, so this is just for the collective. I feel like this is just for this time that we've gone through recently, just with all these shifts with humanity. We're clearing out a lot of energetic baggage at the moment, and this is just going to assist that process and to find a sense of inner peace and calm. And I'm really grateful to be able to share. Shukade unuda hekoeda inne oka ishoeda kunjakade kunjakade rabia lumukwa ishaida Shupada Kodenta Bakate Tato Bicadere Bacadete Kushukopanya Mikate and then Makoete Shiko eta aya Henda Bakaya to Kushukoria Kamakate to Bikashukopa Himjokore Rabiana Mako e Shukopa Itapan Maya Tokoya Sheda by doing more quiet, Sheda Shuka Keto Shukupa the Pipte Kunenamaya the Bakaya the Bokoshukupa the Benamako it there Shuda Nimeke Shoko ete shapaitana. Kumbaya. Kumbaya. Kai. Koda namakeshi daba namakoya da she eda. Shoba. Shoba eda omakaya da ikoshoko oda. Sho. 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 Keda namakoya shaya. Koda de 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 de. Shopate da ba namakaya da ba shaka anena maya da aya. Aya. Kumjadeya. Keda ba namakoya shako a. Shako aya. The saying, remembering the eternal oneness, infinite nature of who we are, rising up into consciousness. Connecting to star systems coming through. Oko ede just clearing out any layers of fear, distortions, just clearing into the layers. Shoko ma ete tapakoya nimakai shekete. Shoko just lifting up, out. It's like this layer. I'm ready to clear that layer. Keteya. Unda yoko shi aita eba. Just connecting into that heart. And there, topoko shia. Humbaita. Humbaita kosho aya. Sha'aya. Te. Gratitude. Thank you.